The following podcast is an RMG Media production.
Welcome to the Renaissance Podcast, a podcast for Renaissance women
and men
who want to create a modern-day Renaissance in their life and business.
We interview some of the most successful entrepreneurs and share their unique stories.
Are you ready to create your Renaissance? It's been a challenge.
Absolutely. And I can't say it enough is like systems and procedures and just that manual and just having an operating system that is so in line and so structured that your team can't veer because they are held accountable. I just made my team do this. Is the first of the year. It freaked them all out. You know, got all these women, you know, so they all get emotional. And everybody's, you know, I was like, I want to see your day outline from the time you start to the time you end, and you write me your job description. Just so when we start this new year, we're making sure we're not crossing paths. I mean, it was a crazy 2022, and we might have a lot of people that are crossing paths or spending too much time on this because we need to cut down the bottom line. But just diving into the uncomfortable things, it's like I have so much work to do to go from 2.5 to where I want to go to 3.5 to 5. And so I'm really working to divisionize it and just look at the best like strategy for all of it together. And so it's hard work. It is such hard work. I mean, and developing these systems on your own and figuring it out. And, you know, you figure out something that doesn't work and then you got to make a better system for it. Mm-hmm. And you have to implement it. You got to write it down. You got to put it in your procedure book. And then you got to make sure your team's on, you know, on point with it.
That communication piece.
And it's just always evolving. Like right when you kind of get like, we talked about that. Like I feel like the last quarter of my year was a little ego-driven. Like I knew I had already hit my goal and my 2 mil, and I was just stroked a little bit by my pies coming, and I wrote my cookbook, and now I'm gonna have the title of its published author. And I lost focus on, you know, what my strategy was to get to the next step. And so it's just humbling yourself and saying like, oh, there's a lot of things that we have to really figure out, a lot of margins. We've gotten into the construction market and the commercial market, and we're trying to narrow down that pricing and being very humble and saying like, we're new to the market. Like if we're extremely high, we need to know. And so now it's just systemizing this and making sure the team's in place with it. And sometimes making the hard decisions of, that person's been on my team for 4 years, and they're an amazing asset and part of my Mississippi, like, family of friends, but they're not in growth for us to hit 3.5 million. And unfortunately, I have to let them go and have to evolve past that and not be in emotions. I mean, it's kept me up the last couple of nights, just making the hard decisions, but it's going to be hard. It's just as hard as it was when I was cleaning with the college education and 40 pounds overweight. Saying push that vacuum cleaner as hard, you know, as fast as you can. I left the office just a minute ago, and I'm like, we got to work on this, and this next week, you know, and it seems like hard stuff, but you just got to dive into it every day and write it down and not let yourself slip on it, you know?
I feel like you're speaking directly to me.
Really? I hope I'm not just...
Allie, no, that was... You're right. Everything you said. It's just every single day you have to give yourself that grace and you have to make those hard decisions, and you have to know as a business owner, like you're not going to make everyone happy. You're going to make probably more people unhappy. And at the end of the day, it's got to be for the customers for sure.
Absolutely.
And it's got to be for the business and for the vision. So I love that you've shared your vision with your team, and that's just all very inspiring. I feel like the humbling thing too, I had to really humble myself in the end of the year. I like literally same ego. I was like, oh, we have a podcast and we have a summit and we're doing this, and like, oh my gosh. And I lost sight a little bit of the business and the team and, you know, the day-to-day rinse and the repeat of what has got me to these awesome opportunities that I have right now. And
Absolutely.
It's like, unfortunately, I don't know if I'm ever going to get to the point where I'm not, it feels right now like I'm never going to get to the point where I'm out of the weeds of the business, because that's another thing about entrepreneurship. When you finally feel like you're out of it, then something happens, somebody quits, or, you know, and if you're still small like we are, like that means the business owner has to pick up the broom and the mop in terms of like go back into creating the content, go back to kind of the grunt work that is what got me here. But it's a very humbling thing, and
Right.
you do have to work to keep yourself humble all the time as an entrepreneur. You can't get a big head, and that's when
Constantly.
everything crumbles. You know?
Constantly. And it just keeps us aligned with our team. And that's what they want. They want us to all relate with them and be a culture and just like really dive into it. We have about 90% of our staff of the Nashville market is of the Hispanic culture. So talk about, a South Mississippi girl with my Spanglish, and it's like, you got to find that love language and that in between to make it to where your workers have to know that like, hey, you can get there and go out and I can fold towels with them and stuff like that at vacation rentals. Do I get to as much as I want to? No. But when things aren't going right, do I have to go meet with the vacation rental owner next week and strategize because the cleaners aren't doing great on it? It's like humbling myself and be back out there in those shoes. But
you're never
I'm going to have a pie in my hand.
I know you are. Yeah, you're never too big as a business owner. You can't ever get to that point where you're like, I don't scrub the toilets. I will go scrub those toilets any day because it just you do whatever it takes.
Right.
Well, walk me through what you're doing right now. What is part of the vision of 2023?
Okay.
What are you wanting to do more of? What are you trying to put out into the universe if you're able to share with us?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we're really excited that the cookbook will be out in February. So I'm starting that off with a cute little book tour in Mississippi. So I'll have like some stops along some places there, have a big party. In my Mississippi branch, some people might not know, but I have the Southern Diva Cleaners here in Tennessee, and then I have a branch in South Mississippi as well that I opened up 3 years ago. We have about 200 clients, about 15 divas there. And I just this past year, I purchased a mixed-use property, and so the divas are housed out of the cleaning divas are housed out of there, and I have 2 Airbnbs there as well called the Diva Farmhouse and the Diva Studio. And so that is just a whole little operation its own, and people just in and out of the vacation rental. So we'll have a big party there to celebrate the book. So excited about the book and just really dialing in on the sales strategy, just not really knowing what our climate's going to be. Always want to put good out there, but knowing that we might be, coming up on a challenging client. So just having a plan that keeps everything aligned. I'm really wanting to go after some more commercial business in the cleaning world and things of that nature. And this year, just really trying to hone in on the Southern Diva cleaning and getting some procedures and processes in place. And so, we get it to the next level, and we maybe could acquire another cleaning company in the Middle Tennessee market. And, maybe as soon as 2025, 2026, we could eventually look at a franchise model. I don't really put that out there that much because I've got a lot of work to do to get to that point. But it definitely is a dream of mine of putting Southern Domestic Diva into large cities.
Gosh, you are so inspiring. You are so young and just, you're so smart, and you have this calm, warm nature about you, which I know makes you such a good leader and such a good person to work for. Like, I want to come work for you.
That's what everybody says, Allie. All the parties, I'm like, I don't know if we'll be able to have that many this year. Now we look at budget. I love to have a party, and I love to cook and eat. And so, you figure it out, but then you're also like, woo, we partied a lot in 2022.
Yeah, you're like, oh, gotta, well, good party is always, you gotta celebrate the milestones, celebrate the success. Well, I guess kind of as we're wrapping up, I always like to ask our guests like you, what do you think are some of the qualities that make a successful entrepreneur?
Absolutely. I think with being able to be a good delegator, I have found that, with having a team this large and being able to put them in the positions that they need to be in and be able to really hone in on my executive assistant is she's a prime example. She came in for a laundry position. She was going to deliver laundry to vacation rentals, and I just sat down with her and to dive into all of her, her skills. And now she's amazing and can run circles around some of the girls in the office. And so just being open to, to delegating and knowing your team and depending on your team and just really building a culture. I spend a lot of time and money and energy on building a culture and giving back to them. We gifted over 95 gifts at Christmas for the entire team and anybody that's helped me along the journey, and just knowing that, hey, I could probably take another really nice Caribbean vacation. but would I have a staff of 75 people and really be able to build that culture? So, and from the beginning, some lessons I would have learned from the very beginning is depending on my banking relationships, I wouldn't have sat in the drive-through of the bank. I would have gone in and been making banking relationships at the very beginning. I would have known about mentorship. I would have depended on people that have already done it and sat with them and been more involved with them. So if those are any two tips I could teach somebody is the banking relationships and the mentorship. And then once you do it, it's just like honing in on that culture, because that's going to create this family of its own. And then we eventually get to a franchise model, then that's what we're selling. And that's what people they want that. They want to build that of their own.
And the culture is what retention is all about. And it's like,
it will save you a lot of headache.
Yeah, and if there's anything COVID taught us as business owners, it's the hiring market in every industry is hard, and it's hard to keep people. There was, I know the economy's in a different place right now, but a lot of options, and recruiters are coming after our people left and right. And it's like the way that you're going to get past that, if you do have a competitive, salary situation, is the culture.
Absolutely.
People, if I've learned anything in entrepreneurship, it's that people want a safe, happy, emotionally safe environment. And they want to know that the person they work for has those good morals and ethics and really loves them, leading with love, which I feel like you do. And I feel like your girls just love you. And it's so sweet how much you give back to your team. It's very inspiring. Well, last question. What do you think makes a Renaissance woman?
Well, I wear my Renaissance sweatshirt all the time. I'll just let you know. I got out and was doing some yard work in it, and I'm like, I got this Renaissance sweatshirt dirty. I just got that shout on there. I knew better than buy the white one.
Well, I've got a pink one for you. You'll be so cute, and you're so cute in the white one, but I feel like I need to give you a pink one.
I love it, and you inspire me too with doing more branding of my brand and putting that out there. And you just said, hey, I'm going to throw these out there at Tennessee Women's Connect, and I bet you sold out of them, didn't you?
We did.
And that's how that is entrepreneurship. Like, you're just like, I'm going to take a plunge and spend a little bit of money on this. And you're probably thinking, like, when you're running the Amex card, like, shit.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought. But then it kind of works.
But who cares? Because you'll get those points and be able to take you a trip at the end of the year. That's another trip. Amex.
Right. Amex.
Build your points. Yes. Meet people in the lounge.
We learned that in 2022. Network in the lounge. I love it. See, you do work on vacation. It's a little bit.
Oh, goodness. And so building a Renaissance woman is just, a woman of value and a woman of tradition, too. I try to keep these Southern traditions alive. I mean, I just wrote a cookbook on teaching how to use a cast iron and keep it clean. What's more traditional than a cast iron? So I think it's just, the way you carry yourself and the drive and the momentum that you have. And then also I incorporate it to being a good Christian woman, too. I'm like a God-fearing woman, and I want to be that for my team to be able to represent them on that level. And so, being a Renaissance woman comes into being classy and having your makeup on and making sure your lipstick. And when you do walk into a room, you make a presence, even if you are the only girl there with the hot pink dress on. Okay. You're the diva.
Own it.
You're the diva. I'm the diva, And so I think it's on so many a Renaissance woman is like coming from my Mossy Hattie and her teaching me all of these standards and keeping these Southern traditional things involved in a world that can be so flashy and new Instagrammy and this going on and that. And you're like, hey, I'm going to stay wholesome to myself and know what I'm building is like true and secure, and other women can see it through you.
Okay, the women want to know what's the lipstick brand and color shade because now I'm very inspired to do a red lip.
I love it. I actually had it in hand earlier. I was like, can I use the bathroom? And I only had my red lipstick in hand. I don't think my lipstick is dark enough. So it is, believe it or not, a Maybelline Super Stay. So I'm talking $7.98. And the color is 502. It's like cherry red.
It's gorgeous.
And so it's the one that has the two ends on the stick. So you have the color and then you have the moisturizing.
Oh, that's the key is the moisturizing because I get flaky lips. Sorry, that's just a thing.
You've got to have the moisturizing with it. And, I do have to reapply it after dinner, or after lunch or something, but just...
It stays on for the most part.
And those mornings when you're really tired and you kind of jack it up over here, you literally have to get the makeup remover out because, it's on there. It's stuck to your lips.
It's like a stain, basically.
It's
Okay,
a
well, the
stain.
people will want to know because we're on camera, so I just had to
I
ask.
love it. Maybelline. Super Stay.
I love it.
So it's like the 24-hour. So
$7.98.
And if you're single, you can press them in with it.
Okay, there you go. You heard it here. Allie, thank you so much for coming on the show. You are such a Renaissance woman. You are so amazing. I'm so excited to just have you in my life and just continue being a part of your world and just following you. And I think our audience will just absolutely love this episode. So kind of just share, where can everyone find you? Where can everyone follow you? Where can we get the book when it's ready and all the things?
Okay. So a lot of my action goes on Instagram. I'm the Southern Domestic Diva on Instagram. And then that plays into TikTok, Allie Williamson on LinkedIn. We're Southern Domestic Diva on Facebook as well. Our website pretty much has anything. You can go to our website. You can shop my Amazon page because I'm an Amazon influencer. Buy a pie, buy a cookbook, book a clean. We also have a small portfolio of Airbnbs that I own and manage. So you could even book the Diva Suite, studio, or farmhouse. And so that's really, but really if you want to dial in and connect, it's Instagram. You can watch my entire life there and how I'd pull my 5 a.m.s and work with my team and, some of the challenges. I really work hard at that in the New Year's, not always showing all the good stuff. Like sometimes it's challenging and I think people need to know that,
yes,
there's tears.
There needs to be more of that.
There's tears almost on a weekly basis,
People need to know that. It's not all red lipstick and glamour.
Absolutely.
It's literally
It's wiping the
blood,
tears sometimes to get
sweat.
the red lipstick on.
Right.
But you got to get it on and get out there, and it's going to feel better when you get to the office. Right. Another mentor told me that it's like, if you could just get to the office, it always gets better when you get there, and your team's there, and they're lifting you up.
Oh, that's a really good, that's a good nugget. I do feel better when I walk in here. It's like, it's just getting here is like it's a whole thing, especially with a baby. But then once I get here, I'm like, okay, all right, let's huddle, let's center, let's figure it out. And then there's nothing we can't solve together.
I love it. And you as a single mom and what you've built in this, if y'all have not seen this place, it's spectacular. I was in the bathroom. I'm like, oh, well, we're going to have to get some paint in our office. I got to, Sydney ain't going to have nothing on me. I'm going to get Diva plastered across the wall.
You need it. I need to connect you with you need a Diva light.
Job. Oh my gosh, it's beautiful in here, Sydney. You should be really proud of yourself and building people's social media and brand and all that. It is a job of its own.
It's no joke. It's a lot, but we are very blessed, like you said, and just lucky to do what we love.
I'm hoping to get a lot of this corporate business and send them your way too.
Sister, we will take it. We will send business to each other, and that is what it's all about, supporting each other and supporting each other's businesses.
I love it.
Thank you so much, Allie. It was a pleasure having you on.
I appreciate it.
Okay, bye.